I love you. I really do. So my name is Anwar Dafa-Alla, and I'm from East Sudan. Someone asked me, where are you from? I said, from Sudan. He said, north or south? I said, from east. He said, huh? Yeah, there is east, of course, right? It was a long way coming from Khartoum to Jeddah to Washington, D.C. I've been to the United States twice before, and this is my third time. I want to take you in a short journey from 2009, while I was doing my PhD in computer science in South Korea. Back then, someone threw me a link for a TED Talk. It was about statistics, and my research is focused on databases and data mining and statistics involved. And it's boring. Yeah, but you know, the statistician was talking about a really interesting story in a novel way that makes you like, you want to take more. So I went and found out about the TED.com. And there was a project called the Open Translation Project. I'm passionate about knowledge sharing. There's a way that I can translate the subtitles of this talk into other language, and I speak Arabic. So I started translating the TED Talks into Arabic since June 2009. And every day I say, okay, I'm retiring. But no way. So up to now, I've translated over 980 talks into Arabic. Yeah, thank you. And I was invited to speak at a TEDx conference in South Korea. So when I went there, I found the setup similar to this one, intimate community, loving, supporting. So I said, wow, I can take this experience to my country, to Sudan. So I applied for TEDx Khartoum, and I started mobilizing the people to join the team, to recruit speakers since November of 2010. And we had our first TEDx event, and the theme was who we are. We wanted to touch that question of the identity. The conflict of identity and this kind of stuff in Sudan. South Sudan is the newborn country 2 years back. But as well as Sudan is also born a new country. And still, the same government that causes the problems, that causes the separation, that didn't succeed to make the unity attractive, is the same government that governing us right now. So nothing has changed. Only borders, governments, but still the same ideology, the same separation. At that time, I worked with the youth organizers for TEDx, and I've met with the fabulous people in Sudan that really give you hope about the future. Because the conventional wisdom will tell you that there is no hope in this country. Last year alone, there are more than 1,000 faculty members in the university in Sudan just went out of Sudan. 1,000. If we multiply their average experience by 2 years, we are talking about 2,000 years of experience just left Sudan. And this is the kind of the government and this is the kind of situation that we live in Sudan. Despite of this fact, we see very smart and innovative people who don't have a chance to be exposed to the international arena. They don't have a chance to be connected with other people. We have a deep sense of isolation in Sudan because of the bad governance. So at that conference, in each conference we do, we try to focus on having creativity or innovation in a specific place. At that time, this artist, his name is Ammar Hajar, he designed the stage that reflects the theme, who we are. And that stage made it to the best of TEDx stage design. And then we went to organize the TEDx Youth. If you focus, there are more ladies speakers than boys over there from, yeah. They study hard. And they inspired the theme. They suggested this theme. Yes, youth can be the change, or yes, you in specific can be the change. And then this young lady called Dafa-Alla, spoken about the positive thinking and the importance of the positive thinking in pursuing our way in life. So she ended up to represent the Sudanese youth in a United Nations conference in Doha, the same month that we have met as a TEDx organizer in Doha. And that led us to organize the next TEDx Khartoum with the theme, positive thinking. It became like, episodes of positivity, going and injecting each other. This young guy, his name is Tariq. He graduated from Johns Hopkins University here. He spoke about the dream of our generation, our Sudan. And it's supposed to be a new Sudan. It's a novel story. It's well written and well presented. So it made it to the TEDx editorial team pick of the week. And that's big thing for us. For me as an organizer, for me as a Sudanese, for me as an African, and so on. This was the TEDx Khartoum 2012, and then we organized the TEDx Youth at Khartoum, the second event, which had the theme, Turn on the Lights. Also, young speakers spoke about their passion, their dreams, what they love. And we had a 11 years old speaker. She spoke about teaching democracy at school and practicing it at home. It was amazing, everyone like, and she spoke in English. Two speakers at that conference had their extra mile after the conference. One of them now is a TEDx organizer. The other organized a conference for the expats and their problems. Now we have a huge population of Sudanese in the diaspora. This year's event was in May 2013, and the theme was Knowledge into Action. We challenged the TEDx community of how can we put our knowledge into action. And it turned out to be a very dangerous theme. At that conference, we invented a new ticketing system. We said you pay knowledge. So we ended up having the first crowdsourced book out of TEDx. We had over 500 contributions, articles, photos, and Wikipedia edits about Sudan. Some people donated their research papers. And then you hit this. The Sudanese security forces came during the event, interrupted first time, you don't have permit to work. By the way, TEDx MidAtlantic, do you have a permit? I guess the headquarters of the FBI and CIA is here, right? So this is the place where you should have a permit, right? So out of 17 speakers, only 3 made it to complete their talks. 2 talks interrupted, and the others were filmed after the conference. And this is the first why. Why? Here's my team. At that day, at the stage, I apologized for the attendees and everyone, and I cried like I never done before. But this team, I'm so proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them. They have done a massive job, and they really reflected. 6 of my team members now are TEDx organizers. So we sustained TEDx in Sudan, not because I want it, but because our community deserves. It's a story about love. The second story that earlier we mentioned Tariq Hilal, who spoke about the story of our generation, the dream of our generation. We sat and we brainstormed about how can we take the message further. So we suggested that, to take the TEDx talk and make it into a film to reflect about Sudan, to reach out to our generation. We started the Kickstarter campaign. It was very successful. This is the first crowd-funded film in Sudan. But see here, is it really Sudan? The project is based on London and in Sudan, Texas, here in the United States. Thank you, United States. We have Sudan, Texas. And here's the second why. Why? The third story that I want to share with you, in August, we had hard flash floods that have damaged the country very, very hard. Over 500,000 people affected, nearly 75,000 houses damaged or destroyed. So all the volunteers in the Khartoum area came together and revived a tradition that we have in Sudan. It's called Nafir. Nafir is a call for mobilization. Everyone came using his own expertise, his own knowledge. We decided to do some food distribution, basic health care, environmental sanitation, awareness raising, and this kind of stuff that urgently needed. So you see here the young guys again, who gives you the hope that the country has every single resource that needed. It's only about management, right? It's only about management. Our politicians' lack of imagination prevent them from seeing the resources that they have, the stocks of resources that they have. So Nafir has done an information system. My friend Bello called it a system of citizens by citizens for citizens. And this was also the first time we see the use in practice, the ICT, the information communication technologies for disaster management. There was awareness raising through plays, through workshops, and we ended up with having workflow, Nafir workflow. That's very original. This is now a subject of studies for many people. And Nafir went viral. We had Nafir in the United States, where people fundraise, in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, in many places. And we got, the attention of the international media, and then you hit this. Sudan's Nafir targeted by government security agents. Why? So I leave you with these three whys. And I tell you, how can you help? You can help us by just becoming aware, well-informed about what's happening in our country. It's not, South versus North. It's not Arab versus African. It's not Muslims versus Christian. It's more complicated than that. And we really appeal to your understanding that people like me suffer. You can reach out to your, Congress member. You have the right to do that. I don't have it. Tell them to lift the sanctions of Sudan. The first why we put it United Kingdom and United States, Sudan, Texas, because the American sanctions. We don't have credit cards. We are not allowed to have, a kind of fundraising or anything electronically because of the sanctions. You can help us also by training our youth, in leadership, in basic and higher education. I don't believe in charity. I'm an educator myself. And the very reason that I'm here standing in front of you is that because I'm educated. And I want to provide this to my peers in Sudan, in Africa, and in the whole world. You can help. Start now. Thank you. 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 Thank you.